joined by Matt of Kublai Khan. We're here at Stand Up North in Leeds. You guys opened up your stage today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you're free for the day now. So have you got any plans on what you're going to do? Are you going to go and see some of the bands at all? Or
To be honest with you, I wasn't too sure who was even playing before we showed up, and I got to look at the schedule and stuff like that. I'm going to pop around and maybe see what's going on, but for the most part, I'm going to relax. Last night was the first night we actually got to sleep since leaving the United States.
My goodness.
So it's been pretty sparse as far as sleep goes before this point. So I'm kind of glad the day's over already, so I can just kind of relax. To be honest with you.
Have you guys got any plans for days off at all that you do normally, or?
I mean, it really just kind of depends. With this one, this is a pretty short tour. It's only I think between 12 to 14 days total.
Okay.
And I don't really know if we even have any off days. The one off day that I thought we had was yesterday, but then turns out we booked a show in London, so
we're going back to
filled
London
it up.
then.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because obviously we were just talking before we started this. I saw you guys for the first time when you came over to the Electric Ballroom in London, and I kind of wanted to actually ask you, how would you say you've kind of grown and developed since then, as a band and as an individual?
Well, I mean, that was some years ago, so it's definitely. I mean, we put out another record since then. We did, Warped Tour in the United States. We've done a lot of just different tours on top of that and stuff like that. I mean, as far as a person, I feel like I'm just kind of still doing it, getting more tired and more old every year. But I'm glad to still be doing it, and especially being able to come over here and share these kind of experiences with, people from all across the place. It feels good, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like the Hammers helped you quite a lot in that way as well, maybe? Or?
Oh yeah, that was definitely the top song off our last record, and that's the one that usually has the most response. So it's one of those things shit, man, there's plenty of bands out there that don't even have one song that gets a good response, so I'm glad to at least have one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps with people kind of gateway, they listen to that song first, so their friends will show them that one, and then next thing you know, they're listening to the whole record or our other records. So it definitely, that song and our last record in particular have helped us probably double what we've done in the past, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to go with a little bit of a silly question. So we've seen baked beans and we've seen cereal in the mosh pits before. What's your ideal meal to take into a mosh pit?
I've never eaten in a mosh pit, to be honest with you. But if I did, I mean, I'd probably want something that didn't require utensils in case you get hit. You don't want a fork going through the back of your neck, you know what I mean? I'd settle for a good sandwich. I always eat a good sandwich. A lot of salami, maybe some bologna and ham and cheese. That'd be good. And it only takes one hand too, you know what I mean? But yeah, a can of beans that's a show off, you know what I mean?
That's going all over the next person, right?
Yeah, right.
We'll continue on with the silly questions. While on tour, what has been the craziest thing that's happened to you individually or as a band?
Shit. I really don't know. It's crazy because a lot of questions like this, stuff will happen and I'll be like, man, that was insane. But then I'll get asked a question and I'm like, I blank on it because there's so much stuff that does happen. But shit, man. I'm blowing it right now, to be completely honest with you.
That's all right. We'll move on then. I like to ask this question because you never know what's going to happen. If you could play your album in any other genre at all, so you can't be metal or metalcore or anything like that, what would you choose and why?
I have a real deep love for kind of malt shop doo-wop music from the 50s, and I would probably pick that one just because I love that style of music, but also I think that it'd be wacky. it would be way more hilarious than it would actually listenable.
The whole of Nomad in that style.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like I'd probably be the only person on planet Earth that would actually enjoy listening to that. But that's what I'd pick probably.
That's something I want to see on your Spotify next.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You never
know. Obviously, Nomad came out in 2017, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. Is it bad that I don't even know for sure?
No, that's all right. Lay you off.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, can we expect any new material in the future? Are you writing anything now at all?
Oh, yeah.
Have you got any new influences over that time at all?
Well, actually, it's funny that you asked that because we have this tour, and then the next thing we have lined up, we're going into the studio.
Happy days.
We probably have I'd say maybe 4 to 5 songs, pretty much done.
Okay.
And it's crazy because every other album we've ever done, I'm always panicking, stressing. Because I'm like, oh shit, we only have half of it done. We're never going to fucking get it. But now it's like that just, I guess, is the pattern that our band kind of falls into. And we're still doing it and still doing all right. So I'm really not stressing it as much. Plus, we intentionally book our studio time so we have the first week to continue writing and have the engineer hear everything and set it up and get everything kind of just sewn together, you know what I mean?
Have you got anything that you're very excited about in that kind of way at all? Or
to be honest with you, I just hope that it really kind of keeps propelling us to still be able to do what we've been doing. I've never thought about our band as just like, oh man, this is going to be like the next exciting thing or this or that. I just kind of see it as like just a steady, slow incline. So as long as it just keeps pushing and we can keep doing this for a little longer, that's all I think any of us are really concerned about. You know what I mean?
So I'd like to ask you what I feel is quite an important question at the moment with everything that's been kind of going on in the world. So it's a difficult question to word actually. How do you feel that we can kind of make like non-white males in the community and the scene feel more welcome?
So you're asking how we as a whole can make, I guess, like minorities.
Yeah, so like obviously like you got women, and anything like that. Anything that's just not like me, I suppose. I guess.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's one of those things like. It's actually kind of a crazy topic for me because there are a lot of situations where, and I mean I'm not a white male, I'm a minority male, but where I feel like stuff like that can be used as a cop out. Like there's a lot of places I've never really played too many shows where, a white male was just, screwing everybody's life up kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing about this style of music is for the most part it's pretty accepting of everybody. What I guess I'm getting at is if that really is a problem that people are having to deal with at the moment, this style of music and things that are happening within that style of music are a lot different than the outside world. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that, I feel like even over here in the UK and in Europe and stuff like that with kind of like more homogenous communities, where a lot of people are a minority over here. I feel like is truly a minority as far as just count. In the United States, a little bit different because there's a lot of different people in a lot of different places, and I mean certain cities we go to, there's it's a good mix. Certain cities we go to, we are just playing for just white people. But like I said, I've never walked into a venue and just been like, shit, like it's just white guys, like this is gonna suck. It's like I'm gonna keep doing whatever I do regardless, because at least for me, the thing that I found is the way to treat people the best, or how to accept, let's say, a minority into your community the best, is to not treat them like a minority, not to treat them with victim status, not to elevate who they are because of their sexual preference or gender or race or religion or anything like that, because then you're putting them on an elevated pedestal where they should be treated differently because of that in a positive way. But in my opinion, that's just as bad because you're still treating them differently because of their differences. So in my opinion, the best thing that you could do to be accepting and stuff like that is just be chill. Just treat everybody like it's not a big deal, because at the end of the day, it's really not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So hopefully that answered it okay.
That's a very good answer. I appreciate that. So let's finish off with something nice. Have you got like a little piece of advice you could give to any fans or listeners out there? Anything random at all?
Shit, man. I mean, as far as people listening to it, so I just appreciate that you do. You know what I mean? And it's something that I talk about on stage, because for me, that's what it took for me to want to, approach this style of music and start doing this stuff as more of a career, was hearing it from other people in bands, because it helps. It's one of those things like, if you want to do this shit, it's not hard. Go buy a van, learn how to play your instrument, learn to work hard and be a good person and pay your dues, and all this shit is possible. This isn't some crazy fucking thing that is so unattainable like I feel like it gets presented to people. There's no reason on earth why I should be doing this. I came from a town of 18,000 people, and now I get to sit here, in a whole different country in the beautiful air, hanging out, listening to music. And all it took was a little bit of work and knowing that it's possible. So, I mean, for what it's worth, I would hope that that's some good advice. You know, I'm sure there's people out there that be like, "Ah, shit, that's cliche as fuck." And I'm sure there's other people that be like, "Hey, I can pull some actual truth and logic from that, and you know that can make a difference." You know.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say at all before you go?
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Wonderful. I appreciate you.
Hey,
Cheers,
thank you
Matt.
very much. Yes, sir.
This is Kublai Khan signing off.
That's it.
Chokers Rock Show.